So you're the third agent walking through their door. They've already heard 2 pitches. They've already seen 2 CMAs. And they've already watched 2 people flip through a listing presentation and talk about how great their marketing plan is and how great their network is. And if you do what those first 2 agents did, you will absolutely lose as well. Not because you're worse, just because you're the same. So today I'm going to talk to you about how you win that listing. And it's not by pitching harder. It's not by flipping through the same marketing plan and the same answers to the same questions, but it's about flipping the entire interview on its head. So here's the setup, and I think this is why most agents actually lose this. You know, what average agents do when they are the third in line, whether they know it or not, right? And I guess the assumption really should be that you're always the third in line. They walk in, firm handshake, compliment the house, sit down at the kitchen table, open the laptop, ruffle through the papers, and then they start selling. You know, we talk, here's my marketing plan. Here's my last 12 sales. Check out how great I am. Here's my social media reach. And here's what I'd do if I'd listed your home. And most importantly, here's what I'd list your home at, right? Price. Always the one that they go to. So the seller's sitting there nodding, but really internally, they've already heard the same pitch twice. So how are you differentiating? Their eyes are glazed over. We're not comparing you to the other agents. They're blending you in with it. Hormozy says, you know, the person who can most accurately describe the customer's problem back to them in a way they can't describe it themselves is the person that the customer trusts to solve that problem. Again, it's not the person with the best marketing plan, and it's not the person with the highest number of transactions. It's actually the person who understands the seller better than the seller understands themselves. And you cannot do that if you walk in talking. So here's what you do instead. You flip the interview. You walk in, you sit down, and before you open a single slide, before you pull out a single comp, you say this: before I show you anything, I want to make sure whatever I put in front of you actually matters. So do you mind if I ask you a few questions first? And look, nobody says no to that, right? Nobody. And now you're not just a salesperson anymore. You actually have positioned yourself as a consultant. You're kind of like that doctor asking where it hurts before you actually prescribe anything. And the seller, who has spent the last 2 interviews being pitched at, suddenly takes a deep breath because for the first time, somebody is asking about them. And that's the whole game. The first 2 agents walked in there trying to get that listing. You're walking in trying to understand what the seller actually wants. And I promise it's almost never just the highest price. There's always a layer deeper than that. So here are the questions I want you to ask. Memorize them, write them down, pause this, replay, do all that good stuff. All right, first one, walk me through why you're selling. What has to happen for this move to feel like a win 6 months from now? It's a great one. And it's not just a real estate question, that's a life question. And their answer will tell you everything. It'll tell you the timeline, what's the emotional thing at stake, and what's the real pressure behind the sale. So the second one, what did the last 2 agents get right, and what did they miss? I love this question. It gives you a natural opportunity to address the shortcomings, because you know you're gonna match what the other agent did, but address the shortcomings. So it's a killer question because now the seller is literally handing you the scorecard. They're telling you exactly where the other 2 fell short, and now you get to solve them in real time. Number 3, if we're sitting here in 90 days and the house is sold, what does that story look like for you and your family? You're painting the outcome. You're making them feel like that question is a masterclass, because whatever they say next is the exact objection you need to handle. They just told you the finish line, and that's why this works. Here's what's happening under the hood. The first 2 agents pitched features. You're diagnosing the problem, and humans don't buy features. They buy the feeling that somebody finally gives them. Again, Hormozy talks often about charge for the transformation, not the transaction. Every agent in that seller's kitchen today was selling a transaction. You're the only one in the room selling a transformation, the version of their life on the other side of the sale, and you're getting them to think about that. And here's the wild part. By the time you've asked those 4 questions and actually listened to the answers, not waiting to talk, waiting to listen, but actually truly listening, you've done something the first 2 agents never did. You built trust before you built a pitch. Now, when you finally do open that laptop, you're not pitching a generic marketing plan, you're presenting a strategy custom built around what they just told you. Same slides, just a different framing, completely different outcome as well. So here's what I want you to take away from this. You don't win the listing by being louder than the last agent. You win listings by being the person in the room who made the seller feel heard. The CMA doesn't win the listing. The marketing plan doesn't win the listing. The rapport does. The diagnosis does. And the feeling that, hey, dude, this guy actually gets me. That's what wins the listing. So next time you're the third in an interview or the second or the fourth or fifth, don't try to outpitch the first agents. Flip the interview, ask the questions, and then shut up and listen and watch what happens. If this hits for you, drop a comment, share it with an agent on your team, and follow along. I'm trying my best through this platform to build and help other agents build the standard for how real estate actually gets done. I'll see you on the next one.